Hello, Guru Scott. On this video, we're going to be installing a stainless steel rear brake line on our 1997 Toyota 4Runner. This probably applies to some other ones as well, but this is a two-wheel drive 4Runner, and this is a Stop Tech brake line, part number 950.44510. Stainless steel brake line kit, and it says it's a toy. Oh, I guess that means Toyota. Anyway, we're going to get underneath the rear of the truck and show you how to take the old one off. To do that, you're going to need some quite a few special tools. So we'll get around to that here in a second. Okay, before you even start the job, a few days ahead of time, you should take some of this Aerocroil or something similar. I don't get paid by Aerocroil, so I'm just telling you, I like this product because it penetrates the heck out of let's say, frozen up nuts and bolts. So we sprayed it a few days ago, and now we're ready to break it loose. And this truck had originally been up in Massachusetts with us for several years. So underneath, even though we washed it off weekly in the wintertime, the salt caused some corrosive activity, especially around the brake line areas. So some of those nuts aren't fully 10 millimeters like they should be. They're maybe like 9.9 or 9.8 millimeters. So we have to be real careful not to damage them getting them off. So I'm going to show you that here in a minute.
Okay, this is your brake line that goes from here all the way down to the top of the rear differential, where it Ys out to each of the rear brakes. To get this loose, you have to use a crow's foot wrench like this. It's a special kind. I'll show you a better picture later. You have to put it on from behind and use a ratchet to break it loose while you hold it with a 17 millimeter wrench here. Once we get that done, which we have already broken loose, you can see brake fluid all over my hands probably. Then there's a clip up here that we have to push out. This whole thing will come loose, and we'll be able to finish taking this loose probably by hand or quite easily. Now the next challenge is going to be all the way, if you follow the brake line down to the middle of the differential, we have to break that one loose next, and it goes to like sort of like a proportioning valve where it just unscrews. So we're going to work on that next, and I'll show you how that comes out.
All right, I have the old line removed now, and I'm going to explain how you have to do it. First thing you have to do is you have to loosen the 10 millimeter flare nut that goes into this side here, and this is up at the very top. And it's going to have a clip on it to hold it into place, and you're going to leave that clip on it, and you're going to put a 17 millimeter backing wrench, and you're going to have to use a 10 millimeter crow's foot wrench with a ratchet to get it loose. I don't see any other way. It's pretty tough to get into, so if you don't have the right tools, I'd say don't even try this. Fortunately, I have pretty much every tool you can buy. Now on the other side here, once you get this barely loose, you're going to want to loosen this up. And so this just simply screws into what I would call a proportioning valve, or if not, it's just a Y splitter where the lines end up going to each side of the rear brakes. So this does not have a swivel connector on it, so all you're going to be able to do is get it loose temporarily, and then you're going to have to completely remove this one by taking the clip off. And I used a brass rod to carefully bang the clip loose without damaging it, and then I was able to pull this out and use my 10 millimeter flare nut wrench to loosen this while somebody else held this part with a 17 millimeter wrench. It's definitely a two-person job there. Then once this was completely loose, I could just simply unscrew this. So to put the new line in, it's going to be the reverse. I'm just simply going to screw this in first, tighten it up thoroughly to about 11 foot-pounds of torque. Then I'm going to put this in, and this has to fit into a bracket, and it has to turn such that it'll lock into the bracket, and then you can slide in this piece, and then you can install the 10 millimeter flare nut. It's pretty difficult, and we're going to put it all together, clean it all up, and then we're going to take a final shot underneath the truck and show you what it looks like when you get it done.
Here's the new line that we put in on the rear, and the way you're going to do this is, first of all, everything has to be perfectly clean. You don't want any contaminants in your lines. So you're going to screw this in first and tighten it, and it's easiest if you put the line over to the other side and the other person helps you turn it as you tighten it up or just get it started, and then you'll snug it up to about 11 foot-pounds of torque or so. Just good in hand snug. Then you're going to do the part up at the top without the clip being in. You're going to hold a backing wrench on it, and you're going to use a 10mm flare nut wrench to tighten it up really nice and snug, like about 11 foot-pounds of torque or so. And then you're going to fit the fitting into the bracket where it came out of, and you're going to put the clip in from the top facing down. And it's kind of hard to describe, but you'll see when you do it that there's really only one way for it to go in. And that's all there is to this video. Thanks for watching. Tschüss.